He's not wrong. Bridge nav step, please.
100.
Oh, here's another coral. We can try again. Video, can I get his, no, wait, right there. Okay, now try.
Dwight, that looks like a loose rock.
Yeah. We already got our rock on this slope, but one's enough.
Okay, go ahead. Definitely gonna need a little more practice with that maneuver.
It's better than the last one.
Yeah, it is. We're going in the right direction here.
Except for the current.
Yeah, the current's going in the wrong direction.
Wow.
This little channel is
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, it's really
Yeah,
cool.
it's benign. You can see it in Argus cam real nice.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's very
Oh,
cool.
look, there'll be some practice here.
Ooh.
Huh.
I like to imagine lava just ripping down that, but I don't
Yeah.
know if that's accurate.
It probably wasn't ripping, more slowly moving, I would
Okay,
suspect.
zoom video.
No, it's all relative.
It's all relative. On a geological time scale, it was ripping,
Yeah.
for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Phew,
Yeah.
sonic velocity.
Can't even blink or you'll miss it.
Yeah, these corals like this little ledge.
Okay, go wide.
You want to step?
Yep. We're
Please
moving
now,
okay
step,
now.
Please. Might this be fractures from when it cooled down?
Probably, yeah.
Man, geologist here.
Well, it's you know, tens of millions of years old and
Yeah.
has like
Can be anything.
been eroded, so it's hard to say.
Sam, sorry about that earlier. I think that we can zoom on whatever you want at this point.
Oh, no, you're fine.
Okay.
Oh, now you just have to ask for zooms randomly. Now that I can. Zoom. I'm starving.
What are you gonna eat?
I don't know. Something.
Grilled cheese.
Always a good choice. Kind of tough.
The
and
cheese
strong.
and meat
There's no
plates
yogurt
were
on it,
pretty
is there?
thin looking.
Is there like, there's no little pots of it.
Community yogurt.
Yeah, it's
That's
kind of weird.
ridiculous. Yeah. Doing that.
The 4 to 8 watch, you like smell bacon cooking.
Yeah.
Like around.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
brutal.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But then they get to have breakfast.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
so
I know, I
there's
do
like
miss
actual
breakfast.
Me too.
reward at the end
It's
of
my
it.
favorite meal. I mean,
After
sleep
the
through it.
lab yesterday, I was tempted to
Sure,
stick
there's a
around for
cucumber.
breakfast because we finished right around breakfast time. But then I was like, oh, if I do that, I'm
Oh,
not
cool.
going to sleep for a
What?
while.
Big deal.
Hagfish.
That's
Hagfish?
Is that a
Oh.
hagfish?
Let's get a little bit of a zoom.
I think so.
I don't. It looks like one, but the
Yeah,
tail
that's a
looks funny.
hagfish.
Look at
Yeah, the
the
tail is
spots.
just super wide.
Cool.
Evil creature.
Type hagfish.
Make
Can we get the
tie
slurp
to
ready,
knot.
please?
It is a slurp.
That has been my dream to slurp a
That's cool.
hagfish.
Are you serious? We would never get the slime out of the slurp
That's
machine
why
ever.
it'll never happen.
I know.
Can't do it.
You
But
get
that
one
would
in a
be
box
so
and they're just
cool.
disgust. They're just
But
ridiculous.
Sarah will be the one that has to clean it.
Yeah.
So go ahead. Slurp
Go
away.
ahead.
Do you want another step or do you want to wait?
Okay, we're gonna move on. You can step again.
Bridge nav step, please.
Wasn't there a truck in Seattle or BC that flipped over and
It was in
hag-
Oregon, yeah.
Oregon,
full of
yeah.
hagfish.
Full of hagfish.
No, this is the
Covered
Is,
accident.
it,
the road.
Yeah.
is that what you're looking at?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Why
man.
was a truck full of hagfish?
There was a semi full of hagfish that was being transported to be flown over to Japan because they're like a delicacy there, and there was an accident on the roadway and it tipped over and spilled slime all over the roadway. They had to close the highway for like days,
Yeah,
Oh,
get up
gross.
there as fast as you
Look, it's
can.
on the car.
and it
awkward
covered the
call to your
cars.
insurance
Yeah,
company.
yeah, the slime
see that?
covered the cars.
You can stand back if you
That's
want.
gross.
That'd be so
What-
funny.
They just
Or hold
secrete the
position?
slime?
Yeah.
Hold position.
Reach up, hold position, please.
It's like some interesting geology.
Can we zoom on the? There was just I think a sea cucumber.
Sam, I think I gotta keep trucking
Yeah,
right through
that's
here.
fine.
Did you slow the speed of the ship moves down, or are they the same?
No, they're the same, but now
Yeah.
we're
So we're
stopped.
just
Stop them
fighting the
now for a
current.
minute.
And the wind picked up a little bit for the ship too, I think.
Yikes.
Yeah, but it's still nothing. Like it's still good for working.
We're almost there. We're gonna make it.
We're gonna make it.
I regret to
Maybe.
inform you that
Current's
we might
strong
not.
again all of a sudden.
98 meters.
We have 70 meters left of depth to go.
22 minutes. Actually, we have like, what, 15 minutes? They're usually up a little bit early.
This geology is pretty rad.
Yeah. You struggling there again, Gabby?
Yeah, I'm making progress though. That time before, like I had just stopped going up. Just like inch by inch. However, it seems like you're pretty stable relative to the
Well,
cliff.
yeah, but it's like your progress is so slow, and it's only 20 meters off the cliff there, so
Yeah,
not gonna
You
move
can-
Argus until you're like way
yeah.
ahead.
No, I understand.
Plus, you can see the
As long
slope
as you can sit tight there.
in Argus camera, you can see it now.
Yeah.
So
I'm kind of thinking if I'm a little bit closer, there's a little less current.
Yeah, it's similar to the last, when we first came on watch. It was really strong, and then when we got up to the top, it
Yeah, it's
Kinda
just
went
like
away.
when you come up to these peaks, right?
still got a ways to go. If it's easier, you can come off the bottom and you know, raise up on Argus and then drive forward.
Gabby doesn't strike me as the person to take the easy road.
The ship
Mike,
stopped
is there
again,
a way
though,
I
right?
can do this
yeah,
better?
ship stop.
I don't know. I mean, I don't have my hands on it.
You want to give it a try and tell me if you find something that works a little better? So I'm just like, I'm going up like 1/10 of a meter at a time. Yeah. Yeah, sure. Okay.
Oh, what was that?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Well, do you want to come off the bottom? That's fine, because this is all similar stuff. I don't think we'll
Yeah.
discover anything really outrageously new.
Do you wanna get behind Argus and then move everything up and try it again, like 50 meters upper, or?
So what's the depth again at waypoint 4?
At waypoint 4, depth should be 1132,
So,
about 50 more meters from here.
so maybe if you come up to like 1150. That's 36
What's that
meters.
glare from?
Huh?
The glare.
It might be from Argus.
Mm.
Glare on the camera. She was asking where it's from. I figured maybe Argus. Oh, well, that could be true too.
Whoa.
Whoa.
I'm guessing that's not an ideal situation.
Nope. Little twistage. Maybe back down, yeah. The light turned. Do you think was that there before when Gabby was having trouble? Come on.
Now the wind's going crazy because it's raining like hell. Yeah, it's 27 knots of wind now. But it's the ship is slightly drifting, but it's drifting away from the slope.
Whoa.
That's almost there. Minutes, they say.
Is that
Be careful.
is
That
that
was
Argus
on
like we
the
see in
road.
the distance?
I think I saw the lights
Yeah, you
too,
have 20.
but
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
It's 20 meters delta. They have plenty of space.
Can you use your manipulator and push it out?
It's one of the lines looks like it's caught.
Oh shit. That sucks. Nice job. You can go back video.
Thank you.
Albert, what's the depth at waypoint 4 again?
1132.
So my thought, Mike and Gabby, was you can come up to like 1150, and that might get you out of the current regime.
Yeah.
And then just drive towards waypoint 4 by your sonar, you know.
Yeah. He was saying.
Video switching watch.
Stay dry.
Hey everyone online, thanks for watching. This is Brandon Rodriguez. We're just going through a little bit of a shift change, so we'll be right back with you.
Check, check. Ready. Science, can you talk to us real quick?
Hello.
What's up?
Hi. Science enthusiast, are you back there?
Hello, this is your friendly science enthusiast for the night.
Morning.
Morning. Oh, yeah. It's morning most places.
Oh, it's kind of morning here.
It is morning here, that's right.
Look at that looking winch hold right there. You gotta.
The drip.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was saying to Trevor, yeah, like it comes in pretty intensely. That's where all that water's from.
Swing. I don't know if we're up or not.
What I find intriguing though is that like right here, I'm using very little thrust to hold position.
Yeah.
So they must have just hit like just the right pocket.
Yeah, I suppose so, yeah.
So are we out of that current that they were in?
Oh, yeah.
Well, we're not in it right now,
Yeah.
but we have no guarantees about the future.
It's gonna be a wild ride.
Yeah, so there's a lot of these like adjacent little summits that I bet are inducing that.
Yeah.
Because here right north of us is this little funnel.
How we feeling, team? Situated, ready to go?
Oh, yeah.
We are getting there.
As long as everybody can hear everybody, we're good.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we just did a watch change, so we are getting ready to continue with our track. Had a little
came off the bottom a little bit for a little bit there, and then we're dropping back down.
So we're in hour, what is this now, 8, 10 of the first Howland Island dive.
That was me.
Better.
All right, I'm putting in another 20 meters.
Sure thing. Yes. Yeah, Greg, I'll maintain like 2.5 to 2.7.
Yep.
Just to keep the tether taut.
Yeah, so we're currently at 1,141 meters on Howard Island, which Holly can tell us. Howland, sorry.
Howard. I mean, I like Howard Island.
Who's Howard?
Don't tell Howland.
It's Howland, sorry. Holly can tell us about
You can see the current now.
some of the Marine National Monument-ness of it.
Yeah. We're coming up the slopes of Howland Island National Wildlife Refuge.
Not to be confused with Howard Island.
Not to be confused with Howard Island. They don't get along.
Or Howard
don't
Johnson.
mention it. Or Howard Johnson.
Or any of your other Howards.
None of the Howards.
Or Seward Johnson, I mean.
Right.
This is Howland of the Pacific Island Howlands. Yeah, it's one of 7 national wildlife refuges that are protected within the Pacific Remote Islands Marine National Monument, one of the largest protected marine areas on the planet. So although we are hanging out just around the equator in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, we are actually in U.S. territorial waters here.
Yes.
And a place with like a really cool long history that I'm guessing that in some of our deep blue sections of this dive we can kind of get into.
Sure. We can do a quick round of introductions as we've just changed over. Brandon, do you want to start us off?
Sure thing. I'm Brandon Rodriguez. I'm the Science Communication Fellow and joining the OET team from NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory.
I'm Marley Parker, the video engineer. I'm a photographer and filmmaker. I specialize in documenting oceanographic research expeditions.
Seems like a rather niche specialty.
Yeah, I'm going for it, you guys.
She's doing it.
Very good.
I'm Jess Sandoval, Sid Nargis.
And I feel like everybody else gave an and.
You got to give like a fact.
Yeah, who are you, Jess?
Yeah, who are you? What do you do, Jess?
And I'm a PhD student in studying biomaterials and adhesion.
It's a great and.
Yeah.
It is an and.
What do you do on our team?
Oh, I already gave that one, guys.
Yeah, she did.
Oh,
She's
I'm on the
Argus.
ROV team, Sid Nargis currently.
She's like, come on.
So you're driving the little follow car.
Little bottle car?
The follow car.
It's kind of like the lead car, because
Yeah.
otherwise I'm like the kid at the mall.
Oh.
You know, like
Let me go.
leash extent.
Think of it.
I'm doing the numbers currently, so
Ah.
elusive numbers.
Of course, she's actually doing them.
The elusive numbers.
So if this is kind of intriguing, if I go down about 1.5 meters, then you get the current just flying across the side of the screen.
Oh, wow.
You're 20 meters off the bottom.
A little less because you're facing forward to the slope. But
Oh, yeah.
My name is Greg Diffendale. I'll be piloting Hercules. Fact. I started working on this boat in 2010.
Seasoned.
I'm Ben Gracian. I'm sitting in the navigator's seat. And I'm a graduate student at the University of Rhode Island studying midwater ecology.
Ben, before we move on, I have a question.
Uh-huh.
Did you watch the movie Navigator as a child? The 80s classic Navigator? Or
To be honest, I don't even currently know that it exists.
oh man.
Not only have I not watched it,
so
but
old, and that's why. But you should totally watch it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I need a good recommendation.
It's a great 80s
So
classic.
low bait Tina Ford up there. Just good.
Oh, I am Megan Lubekin, and I'm sitting data, and I'm the science manager on Nautilus, and my research focus is on submarine volcanism. Psyched to be here.
And I'm Holly Richards. I'm in the science, what's often the science seat, but is the science enthusiast seat right now. I'm a science communicator with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. And I'm here because as one of the cool things that we're doing on this trip is collecting baseline data to help the Fish and Wildlife Service in partnership with NOAA better manage these marine national monuments and national wildlife refuges. So I'm super excited to be here. And if my niece Evelyn is watching, hey Evie, my science nerd niece Evie.
And I'm Alexis Weinig. I'm in the watch lead seat, and I'm a PhD student at Temple University, study deep sea coral ecology, and I'm co-lead scientist for this expedition.
We sounded like the world's worst improv group going around there. Yes, and...
There was a lot of yes and.
You clearly haven't seen local improv man.
Numbers look good.
Cool.
How often are the numbers not good?
Whenever we say it's time to recover, and you guys aren't the ones who say it's time to recover, that's when numbers are not good.
Yeah, when our comms get low or we have a ground fault or something like that, then we'll...
Okay. But a lot of times ground faults are like not a big deal if you just power cycle or something like that?
Well,
right?
it's not power. We'll just turn off whatever it is that's causing the fault.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Or we have a ground fault that there's a long way before it becomes a problem.
Right.
Right. So it's like, oh, we have a ground fault, but it's no big deal.
Right.
It's just something that we'll try and fix when it gets to the surface, but as of right now, it's not an issue.
Have you considered writing down different numbers? That might help.
Sorry? Start fudging numbers.
One
is that what you're
approach.
saying?
We don't support that here on the Nautilus, where we do real science.
We are committed to real science.
So on the Herc bottles, are there those little metal components?
There is metal in the Herc
No,
bottles.
but that are meant to like corrode first. I don't know if I'd call it
Yeah,
an
sacrificial.
anodes.
Yeah, exactly. Anodes, yeah.
Yeah. All right, I'll come down a bit.
But you still have the issue of sending electricity into salt water.
Right.
And so that's specifically what the ground fault sensor is testing, is are we connected to salt water?
I see.
And if you are, you're basically just going to burn out the connection wherever that is. Nice. This is part of where they were talking about.
If you guys are interested online on the conversation on the sacrificial anodes or some of the ground faults, the educational materials that are on the OET website are awesome for this. Especially if there are any classroom teachers listening. Some really, really cool lessons.
Losing ground.
The OET website has all kinds of great educational materials, actually.
The
Lots of
tether is
excellent
looking
lesson
real curious in
plans.
3. I was like streaming to the side there for a sec. Now it's not.
Yeah, it's just the
Cliff face.
current. I've been full stick vertical.
Huh.
Oh.
So it's coming over the top of this pretty quickly.
Yeah.
As a result, I'm probably not going to get closer to that wall.
Do you want to back up and go higher?
No. We'll stay in visual contact with the ground and stay as close as possible. But the ship seems to be like making steps and then losing ground.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't really have a delay between those steps, and it's, you know, heading back.
Is there any weather out there that we need to?
No, it's actually, it's
Pretty
only
calm.
9 knots of wind and 0.5 knots of current. But when we switched watch, it was close to 17 knots of wind, so.
Huh.
Yeah, that was a
Little
squall that blew through. Perfectly timed, I must say.
Wake up. I'm feeling awake, yeah.
Between the rain and the seabird colony on on Howland, who is outside visiting us right now, there's a lot of terns and boobies flying around the boat, making their presence known.
All right, did you see the one that was on the hot tub deck?
Oh no, I didn't.
Yeah,
It was cute.
There was one there that was.
He's greeting us as we come up to watch.
Was it a? Do you know what it was?
It was a brown
juvenile.
The brown booby.
I think it was brown booby. Ben, we have a move currently in right now.
Yeah. I've been doing 20-meter steps.
Okay.
I think there's about 5 meters left in this.
Roger.
So Holly, I have a question about Howland.
Mm-hmm.
It is actually considered an island, is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Which is seems kind of remarkable because when we were looking at it yesterday, it is just such a tiny strip of sand from what we can see from here on the ship. Can you tell us a little bit about what differentiates an island, or what it means to be an island when you're that small?
Yeah, so just the fact that it's above the surface is an island, and I think the main difference between some of the islands and
You're an Auto XY?
Atolls that are out here
I don't
that
need to be.
we manage.
Okay,
so there's like Howland and Baker are islands. They're just little lumps above the surface of the water, so they're just flat. Whereas say Palmyra is an atoll, and it's a similar geologic formation. It started as a volcano that like emerged above the surface and is now eroding back down. For Howland and Baker, they're just a little bit still above the surface. Whereas at Palmyra, the only thing that's left, there's no island at all. That's all eroded down. But the only thing that's left is sort of this crust of a coral reef and a few small islets around what would have been the edge of the ancient volcano. So if you can imagine, like there's a volcano island above the surface. Over the millennia, a coral reef forms around that island, and then slowly the island and the volcano erodes down below the surface, and now you only have that coral reef crust around the edges. That would be an atoll, whereas for Baker and Howland, they're still just flat and above the surface of the water there as islands. And don't have much of a, there's some fringing reef, but not nearly as large as some of the other atolls, say in the northwestern Hawaiian Islands or even at Palmyra or Kingman.
Yeah, that's a good clarification. I thought that I had the misconception that atolls could still have like some small amount of land, but I guess that's just
no, they
referring to
can. So you can have like small islets like around the coral reef, but there's no like the central island that formed it is no longer there.
Right.
So it's still just sort of that some sort of circular shape around it. But you will still often have like small islands. So like most of the northwestern Hawaiian Islands are atolls, and there is an island itself, but it's a part of an atoll. It's no longer a part of the central like seamount that initially formed
Looks
it.
like they bypassed waypoint 3. So I don't know.
One of the other interesting things we were talking about yesterday is we were looking at this, as described, this tiny flat area of sand, is that as ocean levels rise, it's going to really just consume that place really quickly. There's no, steep gradation there. It's going to feel the impacts of that pretty quickly.
They didn't even get up here. Hey, Alexis, just so you're
Yes.
aware, we're heading to waypoint 4 right now, and waypoint 3 north of us, it looks like they didn't target that.
Yeah, because I think we're behind a little on.
Got it. Just checking.
Yeah, so we'll do waypoint 4, and then can you just zoom out so we can see where 5 is?
Yeah, it's right to the east.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll do 4, and then I guess we'll have to drop down.
Yep.
And head to 5. So we're just we're just working our way up to the top of 4.
And hopefully 5 has less of this current because
Right.
it's a little broader.
We just had a question from the science chat about how close we'll be to the island now, and if anyone's going to be visiting the island, namely myself. So I'm not sure exactly distance-wise how far we are from the island. We're in visual distance. You can see it, and you can see when the sun rises here in a little bit. You'll be able to see, hopefully, the seabird colony, and I'm going to duck out to try to get some video for our biologists. We're not going to be going to shore. We try to we limit how often we go to shore because we don't want to introduce, anytime you go to these remote islands, you risk introducing invasive species. But our biologists get out for rapid ecological assessments every couple of years.
So at the end of this dive, as we make our way eastward towards the island, we'll be about 2 kilometers from where we have those contours mapped. Yeah. It's actually fun to map because the last line we did to get this ridge was us steaming directly at the island. And
We're
then
coming.
doing a Williamson turn. Yeah. Go, go, go.
Yeah, that was like an iceberg dead ahead situation.
Yes. Intentionally that way.
Intentionally, yeah. Yeah, we spent a good portion of the day mapping some parts of Howland where we had little holidays in the data, little holes in the bathymetry data, as well as I think we did a little bit. Did we do a little farther out than what had been done, Ben?
Yeah, so it was similar to what we did yesterday at Johnson, where there was a survey previously that had covered kind of the main summit and surrounding ridges, but kind of the flanks of the seamount, which are quite broad, were lacking in the data. And so we filled in that part and just really tried to target coverage. And the maps actually came out really nice.
Great, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yesterday we were at Baker, not Johnston.
Sorry, yeah.
We're all mixed up here.
Howard?
Howard Johnson.
We'll get it right eventually.
Looks like the current's setting out here, huh?
We are going to a Johnston Atoll later in this trip.
True. It'll be our kind of second half of the cruise. Will be a couple dives around Johnston Atoll, which is north, quite far north from us.
It's much closer to Hawaii.
Yeah.
I'm gonna assume we're near the top because I'm kind of in a lee from the
Okay.
current. Video, let's push
There's
in.
definitely some coral rubble here too, which is interesting.
We're just checking out this tiny fish guy.
Little Oreo fish.
Yep, scientists were hungry.
It's really what they're called, I promise.
An Oreo fish?
Yeah.
Oh, I believe you. I'm just saying that.
Do you know why that's the common name, or someone was just hungry when they?
I think
got
because I
holiday?
think the scientific name actually sounds kind of like Oreo. Let me look.
Oh, interesting.
Or does it taste good in between 2 pieces of a cookie?
I wouldn't suggest it.
Maybe you need 2 of them. One, and they're the cookie.
Oh yeah, they're the cookie. Need something in the middle.
Substrate in between.
Michael Bennett in the chats is also asking if there's someone on board with a drone pilot. No, not a drone pilot, although we have started using drones to try to start testing out how to get some of this, using them when we come out to do our ecological assessments, and trying to do it in colonies with, 1 million plus seabirds flying around is incredibly challenging. So.
Yeah, I was going to say the bird aspect there would make it
Yeah.
rather difficult.
Yep, although there's some really interesting research happening using drones to
Could we zoom
count
on these?
seabirds
Sure.
on
Thanks.
these remote colonies. So like if, say like an albatross colony, they'll do a drone flight over that and then sort of training AI to sort of count the birds as opposed to sending people to literally walk across the island counting them.
AI is replacing jobs.
I'm going to put in another step, but I can stop it if we...
Am I good to zoom, Greg?
Looks like we have
You can zoom.
Canthogorgia right in front of us. And a couple primnoids around as well.
Yep, you're all set. You can keep going in.
Holly just caught me double checking a statistic that AI actually isn't replacing jobs at a rate faster than it's creating jobs.
I was also gonna be a grumpy about
Because technically,
that.
yeah, because I was like, no, I don't think that's actually right, but I don't want to say it on. So
Yeah, the issue is that the jobs it replaces and the jobs it creates are different tiers.
of course,
Sure.
of course, yes.
Insofar as we also don't have people making horseshoes or
Yeah,
but
yeah, for now, but I think that in the longer run, it's going to provide jobs that are maybe having less monotonous
Could we
tasks.
pan down to the base of it?
Anyways,
Cool.
we're looking at this coral. Alexis, what is this?
That's fine. No, it's a Canthogorgia, which is a Canthogorgidae, which is a family of octocorals. Has like it's hard to see here, but when you bring them to the surface, they have what's known as like a crown of thorns set of sclerites around the polyps. So when the polyps are retracted, there's essentially like spikes sticking out. They have that really like fluffy look when you see them on the seafloor. That's great, thank you. Yeah, we can look at, we have a primnoid octocoral. Let's see.
Hold on.
Looks like kind of a pinkish color to the skeleton, which is interesting.
There's a little squat lobster on the rock at the base.
Oh yeah,
very little.
like completely
Very,
translucent.
very camouflage, yeah.
And that, look at that tiny brittle star too,
Yes.
to the left.
I like that.
It's a couple of those.
It looks like a brittle star that's
We
a
can come
cookie
out.
star with little
All right,
tiny
video,
legs.
let's come wide.
Yeah, I wonder if, yeah,
We're back
because
to
I don't
hungry
know.
scientists.
Big body, small leg.
I don't know if brittle stars have like that type of morphology, so it might be a tiny.
This one looks like a cookie. I will name you Cookie Star. You look like an Oreo.
There's some good coral around here.
Yeah, so that's what they were saying when we switched. Oh, there's that white skeleton to the right. We're passing over it.
Oh.
Can we just take a look at that?
Sure.
Down a little bit.
All right, Marley. Let's go ahead for zoom.
Going in.
Got a couple little buddies here.
There you go. I haven't gotten these currents figured out yet.
Yeah. Is that a hermit crab on that coral too?
It looks like it, yeah. It looks like, so an Ellipsomnia is the white coral. It's a hard coral. and all the polyps are facing the other direction. So, Greg, is the